Summer is here, apparently.
Not that you'd be able to tell based on the weather. Would you, small fry?
And a new season in real life brings with it a new season and update in Splatoon 3. So let's just dive into what's new and what's changed in Sizzle Season 2023 and the 4.0.0 update. Of course, we've got a new catalogue with plenty of gear and stuff to satisfy your vanity and your splash tag and your locker. Most notable is these video game consoles that the Inklings have developed, which look very familiar, like this see-through game youth, or this cubic gaming system. Should have called it a game sphere.
It's spherical!
There's a whole new stage, Barnacle and Dime, which is set in a shopping centre. Here's the map layout in Turf War. You have a fairly large spawn area that drops off into the central area. Right in the middle is this wooden obstacle. Opposite each spawn is a lovely water fountain sculpture, next to a raised bit of terrain here, near a ledge connected to the team's base. The Splat Zones layout is the exact same as Turf War, with a single zone in the middle. Rainmaker gets rid of the obstacle and that ledge, and puts a ramp leading into spawn in its place, just beside the checkpoint, with the final goal just in front of spawn. Tower Control also gets rid of that ledge, with the tower following a path towards the fountains, then towards spawn, then toward where the ledge used to be, with the final goal just in front of spawn. Clan Blitz is basically the same as Rainmaker, but the wooden obstacle is back, and each team's basket is here in front of spawn. We also see the return of Humpback Pump Track from Splatoon 2. As far as I can tell, it's basically unchanged, except for the spawn being modified a little bit to account for the new spawning mechanic in Splatoon 3. There are also new main weapons. The S-Blast 92, which has two fire methods, a longer range shot, with a smaller explosion when fired normally, and a shorter range shot, with a larger explosion when you fire and jump. The design of the S-Blast is basically an exaggerated NES Super Scope. And there's also the Paintbrush, which is kind of a cross between a Splatana and a brush. It has a first slow shot, but like a Splatana, it lets you fling shots at a distance repeatedly. You can also run in ink, like a brush. Existing weapons also get 9 more sets. The Anakai Splattershot Nova with Ink Mine and Inkjet, the H3 Nozzle Nose D with Splash Wall and Big Bubbler, the Rapid Blaster Pro Deco with Angle Shooter and Killer Whale 5.1, the Big Swig Roller Express with Angle Shooter and Ink Storm, the Heavy Splatling Deco with Point Sensor and Kraken Royale, the Custom Dually Squelchers with Squid Beacon and Super Chump, the Light Tetra Dualies with Sprinkler and Zipcaster, the Tenta Sorella Brella with Ink Mine and Trizuka, and finally, the Splatana Wiper Deco with the Squid Beacon and Tenta Missiles. And I'm not done with weapons yet, because some got some rebalancing. The Carbon Roller and Carbon Roller Deco will now let you move faster when rolling. The Octobrush uses less ink, both when swinging and when rolling. The Snipe Writer uses less ink, and lets you move faster when charging. Splash-O-Matic had its ink spread reduced slightly, apparently as it fired further than Nintendo liked. The Sloshing Machine now fires slower. Nintendo justifies this as saying the weapon was intended for maps with lots of high differences and obstacles, but then they realised they made every map in Splatoon 3 too flat. The Splatana Stamper's horizontal slash is less wide, and the ink consumption has been increased. Special weapons also get some changes. Big Bubbler now has a bigger maximum radius, and now takes less damage from some specials. The effect of the Tacticooler's drink now lasts about 2 seconds longer before any effects from the special power-up ability kick in. Super Chump's decoys now leave a 40% greater ink radius when deployed. They now deal up to 35 damage when exploding, up from 25, and you can now fire them at a closer range. The Ultra Stamp now ends about 1.5 seconds earlier before any effects from the special power-up ability kick in. We're not done yet, because some weapons also require more points to fill their special gauge. The Neo Splash-O-Matic goes up from 200 to 210, the Rapid Blaster Deco goes up from 200 to 210, and the Ballpoint Splatling goes up from 190 to 200. There's also 3 new music tracks to hear during battle, all by a new band called Yoko and the Gold Bazookas. Skablam, Three-Horn Circus, and Rockabilly Blues. The lore says this band was founded after Yoko from Ink Theory, another band in Splatoon 2, joined a jam session in Splatsville, and they all got along so well they immediately formed a 7-member group. One of these members is a blue-ringed octopus, which everyone is obsessing over for some reason. Probably not a good idea, as blue-ringed octopuses are quite dangerous. A new challenge mode has been added. Challenges are limited time events, usually with modifiers to spice up the gameplay. Some of these modifiers were shown in the trailer for this season, including too many Trizookas, where you can only use weapon sets with the Trizooka and your special charges quickly, Foggy Notion, where it's foggy like the known occurrence in Salmon Run, and Extreme Jump Battle, where you jump much higher. Challenges only occur in 2-hour-long rotations, but there can be multiple of those rotations per challenge, so people from every region get a shot to play. During the challenge, it calculates a power based on your wins and losses. You'll be able to see how well you did shortly after the challenge, and rankings will be split into 3 divisions: solos, duos, and teams. If you win 5 matches in the challenge, you get a shell-out token, which lets you use the gacha machine once. At the end of any battle, it's now possible that 2 players who contributed greatly to the match will fist bump each other after their emotes. Also, the Repening Couplist taunt has been modified for the Splatling. It now appears as if you actually hug the weapon, instead of hugging the air around it. The Anarchy Battle Open mode has seen some changes. Essentially, what was League Battle from Splatoon 2 has been rolled into it. You now get an Anarchy power when you play with multiple people, and it functions similarly to the League power. The power is only for that rotation, and you can view your position on the leaderboard after that rotation. These results are split into duos and teams divisions. Open also finally sees the ability for you to change your gear between matches, a definitely welcome addition. Why is it not in series? Also, if you're in a team, selecting stop will pause the lobby instead of just making you leave. The colour lock option has been split into 2 modes, and now you get a preview when selecting between them. Mode number 1 is as before. Regular battles get yellow and blue, and tricolour battles get yellow, blue, and pink. With mode number 2, regular battles get orange and blue, similar to the original Splatoon's iconic colours, and tricolour battles get orange, light blue, and a darker blue. Interestingly, the preview reveals that the name for the regular 2-team battles is bicolour battles. The lobby itself also gets some changes. There's a new room creation feature in the Splatnet free app, allowing you to create private battles in advance. You get a link to share. When someone uses it, they'll be able to join your battle from the lobby in-game. You can now send as many notifications inviting people to join a room as you wish, but there is a cooldown so you can't spam it that hard. You can now put away shells and locker organizers when editing a locker. The game will now show your active effect when you go to grab and go. The game now shows when a player in a private battle lobby is using the jukebox. When you're in matchmaking, you can now view notifications, view the friends menu, interact with holograms, view lockers, and rate lockers or players as fresh. The lobby also gets 3 new songs of its own: Hop and Schlock by Chroma Chaos, Clashing Colours by Medusa, and Dorsal Slicer by Nothing in My Wave. That's basically everything for battles. Now we can move on to Salmon Run. Salmon Run gets a new stage of its own, Jamming Salmon Junction, which is actually quite the tongue twister. It looks like this. Spawn is a raised area leading down to 2 separate areas, with a nice pool of water between them for you to drown yourself in. If the list of changes to weapons in battles wasn't enough for you, then Salmon Run also got some weapon balancing. The Dynamo Roller had its ink consumption reduced, the Octo Brush had its ink consumption when swinging reduced, the Big Swig Roller does more damage when rolling, the Snipe Rifle does more damage when charged, and consumes less ink when not charged, the Slosher does more damage, the Tentambrella also does more damage, the Tri-Stinger does more damage at the first charge level, the Reflux does more damage when not charged and at the first charge level. The next time an extra work happens, you'll be able to queue up solo. If your lobby has less than 4 players, the game will search for randos to make it a team of 4. For big runs, you now get twice as many fish scales for defeating a king salmonid, and in the lobby, you'll get notifications when friends or other players in your pool set new high scores in big runs or extra work. Power eggs will now appear from the position where you actually attacked a salmonid, mostly, and you can see both your power eggs and golden eggs when viewing recent games at the Grisco terminal. Remember Tableturf Battles? Now you do. Yes, that got changes too. The maximum rank is now 999. The result screen has been changed to make it more clear who won. You can now check your deck or give up when waiting for your opponent to make a turn. Online, it'll show a player's win streak in a given lobby, and there's a bunch of other lesser changes related to online play which I've never actually done. And that is basically it for this season. There's also a mound of bug fixes that's almost as long as the rest of the changes, but I'll let you read those for yourself if you want. Nintendo says there'll be a balance update in the middle of the season. And a couple days after this update released, a bug fix patch came out, fixing a bug with Bella reticles, and a bug in which the squeezer's rapid fire shots would have a longer range than intended after jumping. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for watching. If you like this video then give it a like, and consider subscribing, and I will see you all again soon.